friends, welcome back to my channel, Dhode R Vision English. Today we'll be explaining the Indian movie Gangubai Kathiawadi, which was released in 2022. This film stars Alia Bhatt in the powerful role of Gangubai. It holds an impressive IMDb rating of 7.8 out of 10. Based on a true story, this movie follows the journey of a simple Indian girl who is tragically forced into the world of prostitution, but eventually rises above it all, shining like a diamond.
At the very start of the movie, we are shown a heartbreaking and disturbing scene. A 14-year-old girl is being forcefully dressed up by a few men. Her face is being painted with makeup against her will. Once they're done, they leave her alone in a room and send a man inside.
The man begins to assault the girl. At this point, it becomes painfully clear that this place is a brothel, and the girl is being initiated into a horrifying world she never chose. Soon after, a prostitute named Rashmi Bai informs the madam that the new girl isn't eating, talking, or cooperating. She hasn't even agreed to sit for work. Rashmi warns that if the girl continues like this, she may not survive for long. The madam then asks Rashmi to call Gangubai, because only she has the strength and compassion to handle such situations. That's when we're introduced to Gangubai. She tells the madam firmly that the girl didn't come here by choice and doesn't want to stay. When Gangubai asks the girl who brought her here, the girl replies, "My husband brought me here and sold me." Just like many other innocent girls, she too became a victim of betrayal and was pushed into the dark world of prostitution. Far away from Kamathipura, there lived a young girl named Ganga. Her heart was full of dreams. She wanted to become a film heroine and was living a happy life filled with hope and ambition. She even had a boyfriend named Ramesh. One day, Ramesh told Ganga that he had landed a role in a film starring the legendary Dev Anand. Overjoyed by this news, Ganga got excited, and Ramesh told her that they needed to go to Mumbai for the shoot. Ganga said she would talk to her family, but Ramesh stopped her, saying that her parents would never allow her to go. Blinded by love and dreams of stardom, Ganga decided to leave without informing her family. They arrived in Mumbai together. Ramesh took her to a house, saying it belonged to his aunt. But the atmosphere there felt strange and uncomfortable to Ganga. She sensed something was wrong and told him she wanted to leave. But suddenly, Ramesh disappeared, and Ganga was left alone. Before she could understand what was happening, she was locked inside a room. She cried and screamed for help, but no one came to save her. For 3 days, she didn't eat or drink anything. Then a woman named Sheila Bhansali came and revealed the truth. Ganga's own boyfriend Ramesh had sold her for 1,000. Hearing this, Ganga's world shattered. The ground beneath her feet felt like it had disappeared. Emotionally destroyed, she became lifeless, like a living corpse. With no other option left, Ganga was forced into the business of prostitution. At one point, she was pressured to go back to her family, but she refused. She didn't want to bring shame to her loved ones. Over time, Ganga began to adapt to the world around her. She learned the ways of the brothel and slowly started earning. Whatever she made, she gave to Sheila Bhansali. One day, Ganga told herself, "Today, I've given myself a new name, Gangu." From that day on, Ganga became Gangu. And she made herself a promise. "One day, I won't just live in Kamathipura, I will rule it." Sheila Bhansali laughed off her dream, but Gangu ignored her and walked away, holding tightly onto her belief. Gangubai had now spent almost a year in the brothel. Over time, the other girls there had started to look up to her even more than Sheila Bhansali. Gangu's words carried weight, and the girls followed her lead. One day, Gangu went out to watch a movie with a few of the girls. While at the cinema, some boys started misbehaving and harassing them. Upset by the incident, Gangu said, "Can't we even take a single day off without being bothered?" Eventually, they managed to enjoy the movie, and things settled down. The scene then shifts to nighttime. We see a young girl emotionally writing a letter to her father. As she begins to read it aloud, all the girls around her become teary-eyed and emotional, because almost all of them had similar heartbreaking stories. Their pain was shared. Later, around 4 a.m., Sheila Bhansali is shown preparing the brothel like usual, dressing up the rooms and setting things. At that moment, one of her men enters and informs her that a customer named Shaukin Abbas has arrived, but he's not here for just anyone. He wants only Gangubai, and he's willing to pay double the usual amount. However, the man warns Sheila Mousy, saying, "There's something off about this guy. I don't trust him." Still, because Gangubai had taken over most of the control and influence in the brothel, Sheila agrees, hoping that this encounter would break Gangu's growing arrogance and bring her back under control. She then goes to wake up Gangu. Sheila Mousy tells Gangubai everything, that a man named Shauqeen Abbas has specifically asked for her and is even willing to pay double the usual amount. Hearing this, Gangu agrees to meet him. But when she goes to see him, instead of fulfilling his lust, he turns violent. He starts beating her brutally. Her screams echo through the walls and the other girls rush to the door trying to open it, but the door is locked. That monster assaults Gangu so badly that she's severely injured and has to be admitted to the hospital. The girls who work with Gangu plead with Sheila Mousy, saying that man must be punished. But Sheila Mousy puts on an emotional act and says, "I treat all of you like my own children. I don't want you getting into more trouble." Kamli, one of the girls who worked closely with Gangu, reveals that Shauqeen Abbas works for Karim Lala, a feared mafia don of Kamathipura. Even the police and the public are afraid of him. After a few days, once Gangu recovers, she goes to Karim Lala for help. She tells him what his man, Shauqeen Abbas, did to her. At first, Karim ignores her, but when Gangu shows him her injuries, he realizes how horribly she's been treated. Karim Lala is furious. He instructs one of his men, Bilal, to keep watch. A month later, Shauqeen Abbas comes back to the brothel again to satisfy his lust with Gangu. When Sheila Mousy informs her, Gangu agrees to go, this time with a different plan. All the girls beg her not to go, but Gangu doesn't listen. She wants to teach this man a lesson. She tells her friends to quietly inform Karim Lala. Just before Shauqeen Abbas can harm her again, Karim Lala arrives at the scene. He's enraged. In a fit of fury, he slams Shauqeen's head against a car and punishes him for his cruelty. Then Gangubai boldly demands the money Shauqeen owed her and leaves after insulting him with powerful words. Time had changed Sheila Mousy. Though she still wore makeup and tried to appear strong on the outside, she had become weak inside. Her health kept declining, and one day she passed away. After the death of Sheila Mousy, Gangubai tells her men to leave the brothel. She says, "We'll take care of ourselves from now on." In the next scene, we see all the girls bringing a gift for Gangubai, a white sari. They tell her to stop going out for work, prostitution, from today onwards. The girls want to appoint her as their new madam, but she initially refuses. However, after constant insistence from the girls, she finally agrees. This was the moment when Ganga, in her actions and attitude, fully transformed into Gangubai. Then we return to the present-day scene, where Gangubai is speaking to a new girl at the brothel. She gives her two options, either to die or to stay and become one of them. The girl chooses to die. Gangubai becomes deeply emotional hearing this and decides not to let her life be destroyed. She arranges for her to be sent back home. In the following scene, we're introduced to a tailor who arrives to take Gangubai's blouse measurements. He brings some saris with him, and along with him is a young man named Afsan Razak. Gangubai starts calling him Razak Sahab. The tailor tells Gangubai that from now on, Afsan will take her blouse measurements and handle all her sari orders. Gangubai can't seem to take her eyes off Afsan. Day by day, he starts waiting outside the brothel, just to get a glimpse of her. The two begin exchanging glances and slowly start getting closer. Without saying much, they begin to understand each other. Soon, Afsan starts showing her around Kamathipura. Elections were approaching and Gangubai wanted to win. Rahim Bai, who used to collect the weekly cut, Haftar, tells her that the income from the area has decreased significantly. But to win the election, Gangubai needs a good amount of money. Rahim warns her that Razubai, who has already won the election twice, is very powerful. Defeating him will be nearly impossible. But Gangubai has faith in her destiny. When the day of JCB, Jamnalal College Board, approaches, Gangubai goes to meet Karim Lala, carrying a tray with sweets and a staircase, symbolic gesture. She tells him that she needs money to contest the election. Karim Lala asks her, "How much do you need?" Gangubai then begins to tell him. Gangubai humbly tells Karim Lala, "All I ask is for you to protect my liquor license." At first, Karim Lala refuses, but later he agrees, because he realizes that Gangubai genuinely wants to do something good for the women of Kamathipura. As a gesture of support and celebration for Eid, he even gifts her a car. In the next scene, Afsan arrives with Gangubai's blouse while she's taking a bath. Accidentally, he sees her and says, "You're very beautiful." Gangubai smiles and replies, "You're the first man who's ever sat in front of me and just looked at me like this." Afsan then confesses his feelings and says, "I love you." Gangubai, moved by his honesty, replies, "I love you too." They embrace each other. Later, Gangubai takes her new car and picks up Afsan. The two go for a drive together and begin to grow even closer, sharing romantic moments in the car. Night falls. That night, a man comes to Gangubai and tells her that Raziabai has summoned her. Gangubai replies, "I don't have time for her." Soon after, Raziabai's men start mocking and insulting Gangubai. But Gangu, never one to stay silent, beats them up and sends them running. Next, we see the police raiding Gangubai's brothel. It's revealed that the raid was ordered by Razubai, Raziabai's political ally. But Gangubai isn't someone who backs down. She handles the police by paying them off. The next day, Gangubai is seen eating with her girls when Raziabai herself arrives. She tells Gangubai to withdraw from the upcoming elections. But Gangu, firm as ever, refuses to step back. As Raziabai walks away, she says, "Make sure you come to hear my speech tomorrow." The next day, Gangubai cleverly screens a movie at the brothel, drawing the attention of the entire crowd. Instead of attending Raziabai's rally, the people come to watch the film. Meanwhile, Gangubai boldly walks alone to Raziabai's rally. Seeing her there, Raziabai becomes furious. She taunts Gangubai, saying, "Taking a girl out of a brothel in a bridal palanquin and defeating Raziabai, both are impossible." In the following scene, Gangubai is shown collecting clothes from the terrace. She notices a girl locked inside a cage at Kusum's house. Curious, she goes to speak with Kusum, and what she finds shocks her. Gangubai finds out that Kusum has a daughter named Roshni, whom she's been trying to keep away from the dark world of prostitution. Kusum tells Gangubai, she's grown up now, but who will marry her? That's when Gangubai decides to take a bold step. She approaches Afsan Razak's family with a marriage proposal for Roshni, but Afsan refuses. Although Gangubai loved Afsan deeply, she wanted him to marry Roshni, not just for Kusum's sake, but because she believed she wasn't worthy of Afsan herself. Gangubai also believed that if Afsan and Roshni got married, people in Kamathipura would vote for her in the upcoming election. After all, no one had ever gotten married in that area before. It would be historic. When Afsan asks Gangubai, "Is this your final decision?" she softly replies, "Yes." And so Afsan marries Roshni. Gangubai sacrifices her love for a greater cause, to win the election and bring change. A few days later, when the election results are announced, Kamalaka comes running with the news. "Gangubai, you've been elected as the president of all Kamathipura." Overwhelmed with joy, Gangubai thanks all the girls for supporting her and helping her win. She promises, "The love you've given me, I will give you back even more." Her motivational and powerful speech fills the girls with hope and happiness. In the next scene, we see Gangubai visiting a dentist. She had once decided that if she ever won the election, she would get a gold tooth, and now she does. The following day, after 12 long years, Gangubai finally makes a phone call to her family. She speaks to her mother, who tells her that her father has passed away. Hearing this, Gangubai is heartbroken. As Navratri begins, Kamli confides in Gangubai. She reveals that she's 3 months pregnant. She wants to keep the baby and says, "Even we deserve someone who will care for us." That night, during the Navratri celebrations, Gangubai meets Karim Lala. He introduces her to 2 men who are working on a plan to vacate Kamathipura. Karim Lala explains that these men, in partnership with the school behind street number 14, have filed a petition to clear out the brothels. He also tells her that they're using the name of the school as an excuse to build large buildings in its place. Outraged, Karim Lala insults the men and throws them out. Then he turns to Gangubai and says, Karim Lala tells Gangubai, "I'll handle the war, but you'll have to deal with the school authorities. They might even file a legal case against you." Gangubai responds, "I don't want to get involved in all this." But Karim Lala explains to her that she must overcome her fear, because it's up to her to protect the roof over the women of Kamathipura. Some time passes and soon protests begin in Kamathipura. People start shouting slogans like, down with Gangubai and stop prostitution. They are determined to clear out the entire area at any cost. Then we see a scene where a reporter visits a father, head priest at a local school. Gangubai also arrives there with a few girls from her area, hoping to get them admitted to the school. The reporter questions the father, and at first he refuses. He says he cannot admit girls from the brothel. Nobody wanted to go against Gangubai directly, but fear and social stigma still existed. However, the father eventually agrees, and the girls are admitted to the school. The reporter takes a photo of Gangubai. The next day, the girls come running to Gangubai in tears. They tell her that one of the school teachers had beaten them badly. In the following scene, Kamli's health starts to deteriorate as she nears childbirth. Gangubai tries to comfort her, saying, "You'll be fine soon." A few days later, Kamli gives birth to a baby, but tragically she dies during childbirth. The next day, the reporter gets Gangubai's photo published in a magazine. This brings her into the public spotlight. People begin to recognize her, and her influence starts to grow. The same reporter meets Gangubai again and tells her about a huge rally happening the next day. He encourages her to speak up and raise her voice for her rights. He even hands her a prepared speech. The next day, Gangubai attends the rally, but instead of reading the speech, she tears it up. She chooses to speak straight from the heart. She says, "Yes, we may be sex workers, but we still have the right to live in this society with dignity. We deserve respect, and our children deserve education." The crowd is deeply moved by her powerful and emotional speech. Her words make such an impact that even a government minister comes to meet her afterward. The minister tells Gangubai, "Support me and I'll help raise your voice in the upcoming elections." To this, Gangubai firmly replies, "First, give our people their rights. Only then will I support you." The minister explains that the petition to clear Kamathipura has now reached the High Court, and only the Prime Minister can stop it. He makes arrangements for Gangubai to travel to Delhi, where she meets the Prime Minister in person. Gangubai passionately demands justice and basic rights for the sex workers of Kamathipura. After listening to her, the Prime Minister tells her, "I will appoint a special committee to discuss these issues, and this matter will be addressed at a national level." Even the Prime Minister acknowledges that as long as Gangubai lives, the garden of black roses in Kamathipura will always stay in bloom. Friends, Gangubai was not a saint, but she was no devil either. Her name may not appear in national history books, but the streets of Kamathipura will always remember her. Those streets still echo with her legacy, that as long as Gangubai was around, no woman in Kamathipura was ever left without a roof over her head. Dressed in a white sari with a gold tooth and a heart of gold, Gangubai fought to give legal identity to sex work and dignity to the lives of women long forgotten by society. Movie posters may change every Friday, but Gangubai's posters have stood for over 50 years in Kamathipura. The girl who once came to Mumbai dreaming of becoming a heroine became Gangubai, and in the process she became an entire cinema of her own. So our movie ends on a powerful and positive note. It teaches us an important lesson. Never trust blindly, and no matter how tough life gets, stay strong, stay kind, and keep going. With courage and determination, you can turn your life around and become a ray of hope for others who have lost everything. Change your story, and in doing so, light the way for others too. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Tap the bell icon so you'll get notified every time I upload a new movie, breakdown, or story explanation. Got a film in mind? Drop the movie name and country in the comments. I'd love to check it out and maybe feature it in an upcoming video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.